Hello, Trish. How are you?
Hiya, Paul. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, not too bad. Been inside a bit too long today, but no, doing all right. So, yeah, looking well.
Oh, thank you very much. One did have a shower, and one has what? Oh, cat's just joined me.
Oh, we've got some friends in the background. We've got Peg. Is that Peggy?
That's Miss Peggy, bless her heart. Thomas Shelby on the wall, and the
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders. My hippo, my duck, and D for dog. This is my attic in our little house in the middle of town. We're on the top floor. It's really hot up here, but that's like a double day bed if anybody needs to come and stay. So I've had some good comedians who've stayed overnight there from various gigs. So yeah, it's a
Wonderful.
great little home office.
Yeah, I think we're all getting used to working from home if we haven't before. So I know you very well, known you for many years. So Genius PR and Events, for those that don't know you and what you do, if you could let people know what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Trish Caller, and I was born in Taunton many years ago at Musgrove. I've had my birthday during lockdown, which was interesting. People weren't allowed to spoil me as much as they normally do. So turned 56 last week. Oh, I know I don't look it, Paul.
I was a bit slow there, sorry.
Stop it. Oh, they missed it. Anyway, yeah, I was working for many years at a big local employer in town for about 19 years. And then I lived here all my life. I've always loved Taunton. All my family are here, my sister, my brother, my parents when they were around, bless them. But when I lost my mum, I think about 8 years ago now, I had a real nervous breakdown. So I was off the scale with depression and anxiety and just couldn't cope without my mum, and various other things were happening at the same time as well. So I was given some medical help, not gin unfortunately, but out of that tumbled mindfulness meditation, which was quite new back in the day, but I did a one-day tester course of that at York House in town, and it just completely changed my life. So I've done two big long 8-week courses on it, and I practice every day. And being mindful and being in the present, it means that you can't worry about things that have already happened, and you don't worry too much about the future. So it just teaches you really to appreciate where you are right now, because that's all that anyone is ever guaranteed to have. So following all of that, learning mindfulness, I've become a bit of a mindfulness bore, but I went off the scale with happiness and positivity following that. So that is helping me enormously through this period of time. As you know, my second grandchild was due last Friday, and I'm designated driver, so I'm not even able to drink alcohol at the moment because I need to be able to drive my little car and get my daughter to hospital. So it's been doubly hard from that point of view, but hopefully baby will arrive soon and healthy and well, and I'll be able to celebrate with probably the biggest gin and tonic you've ever seen in your life. So yeah, so that's, when I learned the mindfulness, and around the same time the Brewhouse Theatre closed down, and my husband and I really loved stand-up comedy, and it was something that we just really got into because the kids were grown up and they didn't need us for lifts everywhere. So we were trying to find something new. When you've been in a relationship as long as we have, you've got to constantly work at it and find new things, otherwise it gets stale and people get bored and don't stay together. So stand-up was ours, and there was one month where we worked out that we'd been to Bristol for 3 weekends in that month. So that was 3 lots of travel, 3 lots of tickets, food, drink. And I said to him, blimey, look how much money we're putting into the Bristol economy. I want to do something that brings that money into our economy. And there wasn't really any comedy happening around here at the time. So I had a mad dream. Most of my business ideas come from mad dreams. And I saw in my dream a marquee and hundreds of people walking across a green and music in the background and just everything, and I didn't have a clue how to make this happen, but I watched a BBC programme about a comedy promoter from Bath called Jeff Whiting, who, when he started in business, he used to literally stand in a phone box, the old-fashioned phone box with 50p's, and put them all in. So
Brilliant.
I managed to track him down, so I'm a bit of a stalker on the internet, and I phoned him, left a garbled voicemail, now. And he phoned me back. Well, actually, I phoned him back and I said, I'm really sorry, that wouldn't have made any sense at all, but can you help? Because I was working at the hydrographic office at the time, and our plan was to do a big comedy show that year and raise as much money as we could. So I didn't want any money myself. It was all for charity because I was still working. And Jeff phoned me back and he said, yep, let's do it. And within probably 5 or 6 days, he'd got me Milton Jones. Taunton School had offered their big marquee in the grounds free of charge. And it was just an amazing, just everything, just like dominoes, it just all happened, and it was great. And when it did happen, lots of local business people said, well, that was just the best thing Taunton's ever seen. You know, we didn't realise we could hold gigs for 1,000 people in Taunton. So I said to my husband, I'd really quite like to give up my job and start to do more stand-up comedy in Taunton initially, but now it's all across Somerset. So I've been doing that for 6 years now, and I do stand-up for cider, which you took part in, I think 3 or 4 years ago. And you were really good, and Giles Adams took part as well, and Brad Burton from 4N Networking. So I always tried to put somebody local on there because they would bring people to come and watch them, and that's how the audience grew. Whereas now with Stand Up for Cider, or before this horrible virus landed on us, you literally go, right, there's a Stand Up for Cider, bang, sold out. You know, and it's like it all the time now, and I really hope that all comes back. So the comedy side of it has obviously been hit very hard by the coronavirus, and is going to continue for quite a long time. I was watching the Scottish lady at lunchtime today. I've got her name. And she, you know, she was quite honest about it and said it's going to be a long time. So I'm going to have to find a way for the business to survive, basically, until lockdown is over, and then maybe think of new ways to do stuff. But I'm not scared. You know, something will happen.
Yeah. You know, I say it's always been positive, which is why you've grown year on year and got these great acts to come to Somerset, you know. And we do have a great community in Somerset, a great place to live. And I'm speaking to lots of business owners. It's maybe you go through these day by day, you're terrified, and then you're excited, and then you get no sleep because you're worried, and the next day you get no sleep because you're excited again. And I've been like that on and off, and we've come up with our business. Main part of our business, you know, is kind of on pause for a little while. But for businesses like, say, hospitality or entertainment venues, you know, it is going to be a long term. And I guess with things like Zoom, that people are getting more savvy with tech.
Yeah.
Is there an opportunity there for you to do things online that people maybe could get involved in?
I am talking to other comedy promoters and comedians and agents up and down the UK. We are keeping in touch with each other. So ideas are coming out, and some brilliant comedians are doing stuff of their own online, and I try and share as much of it as I can on my Genius events page on Facebook. So if I know that a really good comedian is doing something, I mean, actually Scott Bennett is brilliant. He does Comedy from the Shed on a Thursday night at 8:15, and it's just getting thousands of people joining in. And you know, he always was going to be a big star. He's such a lovely man, got 2 lovely kids and a gorgeous wife, and I hope that really huge things come for him out of this. I don't think he'll ever change. He's just a really nice guy. But one of the other people is our local girl, Laura Lex. She doesn't like performing during this time, but she's really good at like panel shows and Twitter. She's amazing on Twitter. And a short while ago, she had a dream about Jurgen Klopp. And she started tweeting about the fact that she really fancied him, even though she's married to a lovely man. And lovely people jumped on with it. I think she grew about 20 or 30,000 followers over the period of a few nights. And now at the moment, one week she was reading like a bedtime story from one of her funny things. And at the moment, I think she's almost writing a book with the public where they tell her suggestions for the next stage in the book. So, you know, comedy is still there, and I still maintain that that laughter is the best medicine in all of this. And if you can laugh and smile through it, it will make you feel better.
Yeah, and you were very honest about, you know, how you started up and with your mum going, and how you got back to do that. And I know the comedy community is very close knit. You all help each other very much, don't you? And keeping in touch. And it is really scary, but it's being positive. And I remember meeting Laura. I think it was stand up well, it must have been around the time that I took part. And just to see how she's taken off, and and it is those, you don't know where things can lead, do you, sometimes?
Well, she's done live at the Apollo.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, she really deserves that big break. But personally, I prefer comedians more at their grassroots, when they're at the top of their game on the comedy circuit, the people that are hard to get hold of, and they're always, I think once people go onto the telly, it puts such a massive barrier between people. We're on about at the moment about doing comedy digitally and things, but a comedian needs to feel that. They need to feel the laughter, and I would much sooner go and see good comedy in a room for 80 people at a local brewery perhaps, than go and see someone at the O2 where you're seeing a tiny head on a stage miles away. I'm much happier in small venues, which is why I was gutted, but it was quite right to cancel Edinburgh this year. That was that was a bit of a boot to the gut, that one.
I think definitely, even by musical comedians, it's that feeling, that personal touch, isn't it? That transaction taking place of from feeling they're talking direct to you as opposed to looking at.
And they love it. On a Thursday night, so many comedians have all nicked the same line now, that they all try and go out about sort of 2 or 3 minutes to 8, and then just walk up and down the street so they can hear everyone go, yay! Oh, thank you very much. So they're loving all of that at the moment.
Oh, great. Well, if we can think of some ideas, people watching, if they can think of ideas what we can do in Somerset to keep what you're doing, the great work you're doing, growing and moving forwards. And I'll probably be trying to get sleep tonight thinking of things as our brains tick over. We share ideas back and forth. But you're always really positive, and you do so much for Taunton, and proud of where you come from, which
I am. Well, one thing I forgot to say earlier was that the reason I gave up my job and did this wasn't just to make Somerset the Edinburgh of the South, because I do other forms of entertainment. I get celebrity speakers and musicians and dancers and just anything in the entertainment. I book shows for local theatres. I booked Bill Bailey to Somerset last year. I've got some big names coming up next year as well. But it is all about building our economy. Because Somerset, I don't know whether you'll need to edit this word out, I think it's okay, it's a bit of a ball ache to get to. For the comedians that live in the northwest or Newcastle and sometimes even London, it's hours getting here, especially during the warmer nights when they join the car park on the M5. So I'm working with other promoters in Devon and Cornwall and north of Somerset. So what we're trying to do is to organise the routing of those shows so that some of the bigger names can come down and do a Thursday, a Friday and a Saturday.
Oh, brilliant.
And that makes their journeys much more worthwhile. And actually I've got enough venues in Somerset now to do a little circuit of my own, but at the moment that's all on hold. The sad thing is this all came on hold just before I signed an amazing new venue. I'm gonna have to keep the hat on it in case it doesn't happen for a little while, but there were some really exciting things coming up, and that's what's keeping me going at the moment is knowing that this will end. We will come out of it, and hopefully to a bright new different world. I don't want it to go back to how it was, with people being selfish and just rush everywhere and not appreciating what they've actually got within their own four walls sometimes. I miss my grandson like mental, but we FaceTime and do stuff, and it's really nice, and he gets all excited. He goes, "Oh, Nana, Grandad," and it's lovely. It's changing so much.
That's why I found I've become a children's entertainer for my my nieces, and doing some different bits online. It's just, but I love the fact that I think the key thing is what's come out, because the world can be so depressed. We see such negativity of stuff that comes out, and you share all positivity in the local paper, and we share in our magazine. We share positive stories. What's been great, it's been celebrating the community and things that you just mentioned about collaborating with people in Devon, Cornwall. So actually, we all need to work together.
Nice country. Yeah, but no, you do great. I mean, your quiz is amazing, and the stuff you're doing for the community as well. I love going on your walks with you. On different, because I live in a terraced house not far from the train station, so there isn't a great deal. And I love water. I can't wait to go walk on the river or the canal or something again. But hopefully that won't be too far off now. But you know, I genuinely do what I do for my hometown and my home county, and anything that gets the tills ringing down here. Because when you're ringing tills,
Yeah.
you've got people staying in hotels, drinking in bars, eating in restaurants, and having a great time, and providing money for our economy, but also employment for all of our local people.
Yeah.
Which is what I think I was when I was asked to join the executive of Taunton Chamber of Commerce. So as well as being the Queen of Comedy and the Queen of Positivity, apparently I'm a respectable businesswoman. Who knew? I still pinch myself. But the biggest worry is worrying that people will forget you when they don't see you out there all the time.
Yeah.
But it must be a pain in the bum to have someone going positivity, positivity, positivity all the time. But
no, that's what we need right now, and I think that was part of doing these videos is to kind of showcase what individuals are going through with their businesses, because I mean some sectors are being impacted a lot more than others. So people watching this that know you or don't know you, what kind of top tips would you give to people right now? And in terms, you mentioned the mindfulness.
yeah, really easily, I would just say that before you even open your eyes in the morning, when you first wake up and you realize you're alive and everything, just put a really big smile on your face. Even if you feel miserable, if you feel wretched, if you just put a smile on your face before you even open your eyes, the muscles there release endorphins that make you feel good. And just take a deep breath or a few deep breaths, and just make a little list of appreciations you've got in your life.
Yeah.
Living in close proximity to partners must be putting great strains on me and my husband. We've been together for 35 years now, and it's mostly absolutely brilliant. We love the bones off each other, but a few weeks ago we were taking massive chunks out of each other over the absolute stupidest things.
Yeah.
Who'd fed the cat or something. But what we decided was that we would just keep on out stupiding each other until we made each other laugh. And that's kind of how we're getting through it. But when you try and get out if you can, because vitamin D is really, really good for your mental health and for your physical well-being as well. But just try and smell the flowers, hear the birds, look up at the clear skies and things, and just appreciate the good things that you've got.
Yeah. Well, that's sound advice. So that's thank you very much.
I'm a doctor now as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to sort of say, and maybe get a cat.
Yeah.
Animals. All the animals right now are getting lots of extra fuss, aren't they?
I've seen your hedgehogs.
Yeah, we've had hedgehogs.
All has hedgehogs.
Yeah.
And a hedgehog hotel.
Yeah. That's one of my ideas in case I need to use it.
Oops. Well, you put it on the internet. Duh.
Oh, well, lovely to chat to you. Finally, my kind of killer question: if you weren't to go into your dream job, which is entertainment, comedy, and things, what would you have done if you hadn't done this? Do you think? What other thing?
To be totally honest with you, I did answer the same question the other day, and I am living my best life. I am in the job that I want to pinch myself all the time, that I'm in a job that I really, really love, and I feel very blessed and very lucky to do that. I think what would I really do? I suppose it's anything that would involve making people happy. Now, I took my sister to the dentist a while ago. She was really scared about it, as was another lady in the surgery as well. And I ended up making both of them laugh, that they felt really happy when we went into the dentist. And the receptionist said to me, "You want to come and do that all the time?" I'd love that. I'd love to work in a reception area where people are genuinely scared, and put them at ease before they go and have stuff done. But I don't know if there's any call for that, but if there's anyone out there that wants a jolly chatty, I was going to say blonde, but grey-haired woman with absolutely skanky nails, look at them. I am known for my perfect nails all the time, and they've all gone.
Well, thank you so much. There's lots of good ideas for people there, and people that want to. Maybe this is the time that people that don't enjoy their job are thinking about doing something. I know lots of people I've spoken to who are thinking about maybe doing something they really love, because we all know life's too short, and
absolutely,
don't live in the past. Don't the future we can't. But like I said, with the mindfulness, live in the present, stay positive. It's a great message to end on.
Well, going back to giving my job up, it was the hardest decision I made, because I was earning, a really lovely wage, and it was the hardest decision, and I almost didn't do it. And then a friend said to me, "How will you feel a few years down the line if this had worked?" Well, basically, if you don't try it, you'll never know. but always have something in reserve so you can go back if it doesn't work. But if you really, really want to do something, you've only got one life. Try it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. I've got plenty.
Hopefully we'll see each other soon, face to face.
Yeah.
Obviously face to face now, but in real life, I mean, you know.
I have never spoken to you before without wrapping my arms around you and giving you a big hug, and that's one thing I really missed.
Oh, well, I hopefully see you soon, and yeah, love for the family and stuff, and yeah, catch up with you soon. Thanks, Trish.
Definitely. Thank you, Paul.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.